After all this waiting, Deadpool and Wolverine is finally out in theaters, so let's review it. And let's just say this right off the bat. This movie is basically everything you want it to be. This movie, you can tell, was made for the fans. From everything that happens in the movie, it's 100% made for us as fans. Now, of course, Deadpool and Wolverine's chemistry together is what holds this film. Without their chemistry together, the movie won't be as good. We see it in the trailer, they fight all the time, and it's exactly what you would want. And of course, Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine. It's fun seeing him back on the screen again as this version of Wolverine, a new take on the Wolverine in the comic accurate suit. And of course, Deadpool is also back, and he's as charming and funny as he always is. And I kind of liked what Deadpool did at the beginning of the movie, kind of with what went on there. I can't say anything other than that. The title sequence, but what followed after the title sequence, and what he did there, setting up his character arc, I found that to be a clever way. And what they do with him, with Vanessa as well, I found it to be an interesting take on where the relationship has been. We also really all knew this going into the movie, but this movie is a love letter to 20th Century Fox. Because Disney bought it, so there's jokes about it and stuff, but it really is just a love letter to Fox. Like during the credits, they're showing like this sequence of them filming the 20th Century Fox movies, because it really is just a love letter to 20th Century Fox and what came before, and now that we're moving these characters into the MCU, what is to come next. And I am glad I stayed off the internet once the reviews started coming out for this movie, once people have actually seen it, because there's cameos in this movie. So if you somehow have not been spoiled yet, I recommend staying offline until you have seen this movie. The action in this movie too, I really like all the slow motion action scenes, all the blood everywhere. I think it's a really nice addition into the fighting style that the MCU has had. Some people are comparing it to the Winter Soldier, and yeah, the action scenes are pretty cool. And since I wasn't old enough to watch the first two Deadpool movies in theaters, now that I finally got to see a Deadpool movie in theaters, the entire audience was loving the film, and I'm glad I was able to get that audience experience with the film. Like I said, Deadpool is as funny as ever, with another hilarious movie. Now I could ramble on and on about good stuff about this movie. I do have a main problem with it. Now, I did talk about how they did a spin on the arc for Deadpool and Vanessa in this movie, and there was really no setup to that, because I can't really spoil much, but the way the second movie was, and the way this movie was, I don't really see how what happened in this movie could have happened. That's all I can really say without spoilers. There was just no build-up to that basically part of his arc, because we needed to see more of that. And another thing, I feel like this runtime is too short. That comes with problems, because if you're wondering if you need to see Loki before this, technically no. But I feel like they're introducing the TVA, but they do it in like 10 seconds worth of dialogue. Deadpool makes a joke of it, but that's there. So if you don't really know what the TVA is, you have to listen up, because it's really in 10 seconds worth of dialogue. So I feel like they were really just rushing to get to the void of the part we all want to see. So basically everything until the void, I feel like is all rushed, because they're trying to rush us into the void where Deadpool and Wolverine are, and where the movie gets nuts. Because I feel like when they're at the TVA, the plot's moving too fast. And they also introduced a new concept that hasn't been introduced before. I feel like I was going to miss something due to how fast they were explaining it still. And this was brand new information too. Also, with that rushed part, when Wolverine is first introduced on screen, I feel like his part is rushed too. All of a sudden they meet, Deadpool tells him something, and then he joins him. And then Wolverine doesn't really get to talk until they fight in the void. So again, basically once Deadpool enters the TVA until they go to the void, it just feels rushed right there for me. Other than that, Deadpool and Wolverine is a movie made for the fans. Deadpool and Wolverine talking together. What is there not to like about that? Deadpool is back with his humor, and Wolverine, and they're back. I'll give Deadpool and Wolverine an 8.5 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, maybe these ones on the side will interest you too. Like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.